Well, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the G1 Climax 30. We're going to see who will most likely advance in their respective blocks in both the A and B block. So, we're going to discuss all of that today on Deleted WrestleZone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Deleted WrestleZone. All things pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, many promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I'm your host, J-Rod here. So, as you all know now, we're getting closer and closer to the finale to the G1 Climax 30. I know it's been a crazy roller coaster with this tournament going on for almost a month, not to mention with the whole thing that's been going on with the pandemic. I know you probably ask me, how do you keep up with everything? Well, it takes dedication, commitment to pull it off. But as you know now, we're getting closer. Now, I did mention in the previous episode about the G1 where we already have 4 competitors and most likely are still in it with the amount of points to gain. I'm talking about Jay White, Kota Ibushi, Will Ospreay, and of course, who else did I miss? Ibushi, Jay White, oh yeah, and Okada. 4 competitors who are currently in the four who most likely have the points for everyone else. But however, certain things can change. For example, let's say Will Ospreay faces a wrestler who did not make the cut but can actually make him lose the match while the other competitors rule. That is one of those scenarios that could happen in this tournament. It's not like unheard of, but it's common to happen in the G1. Don't ask me why that happens, it just does. It all depends on the amount of points you gain. So we're going to find out who most likely will win both the A block and B block and try to determine who most likely can advance with the amount of points they have and who will probably be in the final match that will face off to win the coveted briefcase to contain the contract for a Wrestle Kingdom title shot for the IWGP Heavyweight and the Intercontinental Championship. So let's start with the A block. Okay, so as you all know, I mentioned this. Several of my friends do believe that the B block for this year's G1 is the best one ever. I can say why. I can see it. I mean, they do have a good roster for this block. But however, let's see how we can compare that top to what many of my friends talk about. So let's start with the first match. Well, it's the Young Lions, but I'm going to skip it anyway. We have Yoshihashi versus Kenta. Now, as we all know in this, I've always talked about highly about Yoshihashi, one of a very talented individual. Now he's being pushed. He did put up a hell of a fight against Kenta, but however, fighting a guy like Kenta is not a guy you have to be more careful with or watch out, because Kenta, A, he's good as a striker and a hell of a puncher. B, he cheats by using methods that don't normally supposed to work. Normally he's not supposed to do. For example, using the IWGP United States Championship briefcase to contain the contract. And C, he's cocky and arrogant. So that's the way I see it with Kenta. But however, he did beat Yoshihashi without the use of the case or so. I think he did. Well, I don't remember. Anyway, he applied his submission on him, and of course Kenta knew that was going to work, but Yoshihashi had no other choice but to give up, knowing that it was too much. So he loses this match while Kenta wins the match. Now, like I said, certain circumstances can change in these matches. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but certain things can change, because as soon as we're getting closer and closer to the finals, That's going to be a story to tell about. Next match, we got Juice Robinson, the flamboyant, versus Zack Sabre Jr. As you all know, Zack Sabre Jr., the best technical wizard ever, versus a guy like Juice Robinson. But Juice did manage to hold on as much as possible. He's well aware of Zack Sabre Jr.'s ability as a technical wizard or submission specialist. That is something that he had to be more careful. But however, it wasn't enough for Juice to try to get away any of his submission tactics that he uses, and he tapped out. So Zack Sabre wins this match. Juice did not. Then we have the interesting one. I have to say, one of the funniest and matches I've ever seen so far. It's Toru Yano versus Tetsuya Naito. These guys are no strangers with each other. They have faced countless times. But however, I did recall last year where Naito had to use Yano's tactics, and now he had to do the same thing again. Now, if you guys are a wrestler facing a guy like Yano, you have to play his game. You're not gonna win by using your tactics because he'll find a way around it. But the one thing that was so funny is the fact is Yano tried to do that same thing when Naito pretends that he's going to jump off the ring, and then he doesn't. He rolls over and does the tranquilo thing. He didn't do that. He just rolls up, stands up, but he couldn't find Naito, so he didn't see him where he goes. Naito was creeping down on the ring apron, or underneath the ring apron, hiding out for a while until finally Naito somehow was able to sneak in, try to remove the safety of the turnbuckle. And when Yano caught up to him, he did try to stop him, but it wasn't enough. So they removed both sides of the turnbuckles, the white ones, and Yano whacked him in it. But the funniest moment is when Naito was taken out of the ring, and Yano decided to do another unconventional tactic, where he got a young lion, which is Yota Tsuji. He brings him on the other side of the bike rail, while Yano's was right there in the middle. So here's the bike rail right here. Naito was here. Tsuji was here. So what Yano did, he taped both of their hands. Now Naito knew there was no way that he has to get back in the ring. So what happened, Tsuji goes through the bike rail, which is perfect size for him to get through, got in the ring, managed to take off the tape, but however, Naito tried to do the fist bump, but he knocked out Tsuji. I think he was just mad that Tsuji was right there. Friendly advice for all you young lions in Japan: do not get close to Yano. He's a trickster. But was it enough for Yano's tricks to beat Tetsuya Naito? The answer is no. So Yano picked up the victory as always, gaining 2 more points, while Yano gets nothing. And then we get to an interesting match. We have Evil, along with Master Spoiler Dick Togo, versus Hiroki Goto. Now, you all know Evil has been determined to regain what he felt was taken from him. He's calling Naito a false champion. Well, we all know that Naito is a champion because he fought tooth and nail to get to the top to win the IWGP, both titles. But of course, he has to have help in Dick Togo. Now, I'm going to skip ahead anyway. As we all know, it's always Evil thanks to Dick Togo. But however, we don't know what Evil's intentions are with Jay White. He's been playing these mind games with Jay White, tried to get to his head. Now, the real question is Evil trying to control Bullet Club? We have seen leaders come and go within Bullet Club. We had Prince Devitt, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, now Jay White. But Evil was only temporary leader while the others were still stuck outside of Japan. But that's going to be another discussion for another time. Now we get to the main event. We got Sanada versus the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Go Ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. But I have to say, this was also another good match that I like because, as you know, Tanahashi is trying to remain as the momentum. As you know, he's been the top ace for a long time in New Japan. But the real question is, can he hold on to reach to the top? But he put up one hell of a fight against Sanada. But however, it was Sanada who picked up the victory. So that means Tanahashi is not advancing. Sanada, he gets the points. But like I said, certain circumstances will have to change. But we'll see what happens. So let's right now talk about the point system. Alright, so let's review the point system right now for the G1 Climax 30, starting with the A block. We have Kota Ibushi with 6 wins and 2 losses with the total points of 12. Jeff Cobb, 4 wins, 4 losses. He's tying that, so he gets the total points of 8. Kazuchika Okada, 6 wins, 2 losses with the total points of 12. So he's tied with Kota Ibushi. Tomohiro Ishii, 3 wins, 5 losses with total points of 6. So that means he could be mostly not advancing, but we'll just wait and see. Shingo Takagi, 3 wins, 5 losses with the total points of 6. Minoru Suzuki, 3 wins, 5 losses, total points of 6. Taichi, 4 wins, 4 losses, total points of 8. Jay White, 6 wins and 2 losses. So basically he's in the same predicament as Kota Ibushi, Okada. So, oh yeah, Will Ospreay, I think I might have skipped him. He has 10 points. So he has 5 wins and 3 losses, I think? Yeah, 3 losses. So, my bad. Now let's jump in with the B block. Hiroshi Tanahashi, 3 wins, 5 losses. Total points of 6. Juice Robinson, 3 wins, 5 losses, 6 points. Hiroki Goto, 4 wins, 4 losses, 8 points. Toru Yano, 3 wins, 5 losses with total points of 6. Yoshihashi, 1 win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 losses. Yeah. He's the most likely out of the tournament. Tetsuya Naito, 6 wins, 2 losses with total points of 12. Sanada, 5 wins, 3 losses with the total points of 10. So he could most likely continue on. Zack Sabre Jr., 5 wins, 3 losses, 10 points. So he most likely could stay as well. Kenta, 4 wins, 4 losses with the total points of 8. Evil, 5 wins, 2 losses with the total points of 12. So he most likely can continue on. Now, the 12-point indicator, that right there. Now, we have 6 competitors, 3 in the respective blocks that they most likely can advance. Are most likely in, but however, they have to win their matches. We have Kota Ibushi, Okada, and of course, Jay White. These are the competitors in A block who most are what the most consecutive wins with 12 points each. Same thing we got with Tetsuya Naito, Zack Sabre, and Evil. So they're both tied. But however, there are those who could most likely advance. We have Zack Sabre Jr. and Sanada. These are two of the competitors that most likely could advance, but the real question is how far enough. But now it's been explained a while ago that now for Friday, for the upcoming finals in the respected A block, we have the matches that will be set. So we have Jay White versus Tomohiro Ishii, Kota Ibushi versus Taichi, and Okada versus Will Ospreay. Now this is gonna be an interesting match. The reason I say this, Kota Ibushi and Taichi are familiarized with each other. It was Taichi who's been trying to convince Kota Ibushi to dump Tanahashi to join Suzuki-gun, and Okada and Will Ospreay. Well, they're familiarized with each other all too well. It was Okada who brought Will to New Japan, and he loves him like a little brother. So this is gonna be part 3 in their 3 times in their lives they challenge each other, but it's gonna be awesome. Now, I mentioned about the whole thing with the Bullet Club recently. You probably asked myself, why am I mentioning this? This wasn't the first time we had a Bullet Club Civil War. The one with the Elite, it should have happened, but it didn't. But we could see an actual Bullet Club rivalry between Jay White and Evil. Now, the way I see it is Evil trying to overthrow Jay White. It was Tama Tonga who believed Jay White was the one who was going to bring the Bullet Club back to what they were known for from the very beginning. But Evil, on the other hand, seems like he was destined. Now, Jay White can say maybe getting Evil was a mistake, or who knows. But Jay White did mention in an article he did not appreciate what Evil did to Kenta. He thought it would have been a fair fight amongst brothers, but it didn't turn out that way. And of course, there was a whole thing with Yujiro not too long ago, but Jay White said that they already took care of it, they've spoken about it, and of course he did the same thing with Geto. So the real question is this the beginning where who will fight for the leadership of the Bullet Club? We get to see that. Now, Kenta has come across that he should have been double champion too. Jay White didn't mind, because Kenta respects Jay White in all ways. But the real question is, what is Evil's motives? He became double champion. He has Dick Togo by his side, much like Jay White has Geto. But what is Evil's attention now? I guess we're just gonna find out in the upcoming weeks and see where they're gonna go. But I would love to see, if it's possible, if Jay White somehow wins the A block and Evil the same way wins the B block, we could see an actual Bullet Club fight. I don't know. That I would predict. But we'll see how that goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, me talking with the G1. And like I said, we're getting close to the end. But for now, I got to get ready to edit this for you guys. But at the same time, getting ready to watch AEW versus NXT. So I'm ready for that, and I'll review that in the next episode. So for all of you guys, if you like this episode, leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, if I can remember what's the name of it. But I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang!